love that. I'm so happy and grateful now for my Retired in 365 family. I'm so happy and grateful now for that divine guidance is taking place at all times. I'm so happy and grateful now for this wisdom of abundance. I'm so happy and grateful now for my Retired in 365 family, for great leaders. So happy and grateful now that I will be financially free by November 20th, 2020. I'm so happy and grateful now that for my entire life, because his grace is so graceful. Okay. So happy and grateful now for love and this amazing opportunity I have inside this organization. So happy and grateful. I'm so happy and thankful for this supportive, educational, positive platform. So happy and grateful now that I'm a part of the Retired 365 group. The fellowship has been amazing, and making money from my cell phone has been a blessing. I love to see it, love to hear. We got a couple more. Okay, Melvin coming through. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have an opportunity to change my life and many others. Super happy and grateful that I am alive and hitting my goals and in the right place at the right time. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm blessed with a brand new day filled with life and promise, my health, and another day of being a profitable trader, taking a step towards the right direction. I'm so happy and grateful now for my health. So happy and grateful for abundance. So happy and grateful for waking up today, for being physically active and attracting more chairmen into my organization. I love it. I'm so happy and grateful now for life and awareness. So keep those coming in. We definitely want to start the morning off and every day off with an attitude of gratitude. You know, definitely want to wake up, make sure you pray, make sure you have your affirmations, right? If you haven't already said your affirmations for the day, make sure you go ahead and do that right after this call, because everything starts with you. Like we talked about yesterday on that morning motivation, right? We talked about how everything starts with you, and you are the best coach that literally you will ever meet in your life, right? So we got amazing morning motivation. I'm actually not going to take up all the time. We got Miss Jasmina Hollins, soon to be chairwoman inside of this organization, coming to give you guys the morning motivation. But I'm actually going to pop it off for her, and we're going to talk about success being in the details. All right. I want you guys to drop details in the chat. We're going to make this interactive this morning. Drop details in the chat. Yeah, let's see it coming in. Let's see it coming in. There we go. There we go. Perfect. I see the details. I see the details dropping in. So I want you guys to understand, again, you know, keeping with that theme of success is in the details. You are the best coach that you will ever have. Everything starts with you. We also got to realize, right, that everything has a purpose, right? Everything has a purpose. You know, we've heard this so many different times. This is a marathon, not a sprint, but it's a marathon that includes some sprints, right? It's a marathon that includes some bursts of speed inside, right? You know, we have our 72-hour fast start. Why isn't it a week fast start? Why isn't it a month fast start? You know, why isn't it a 5-day fast start? It's just a 72-hour fast start. And then it's followed by some specific run the play details, right, that are meant to sustain you as you're going throughout your journey of becoming a successful, profitable trader, right? Did you guys ever think about, why is it just 72 hours? I want you to think about, you want to start fast, right? Success loves speed. Exactly, Paul. Success loves speed. But at the same time, you got to understand that a lot of times, the biggest challenge that you will face will not be the speed in the beginning. The biggest challenge that you're going to face is the effort, right? Can you control the effort and not let the run control you, right? Can you control what you're doing, but not let it control you? Let me make that make sense. So it's a 72-hour fast start. Imagine if you had to keep that same intensity, that same energy of that 72-hour fast start every single day, right? All the time. That's not sustainable, right? That's not something that a regular human can do and still come out on top and still be able to live whatever and get out of the situation that they're in, right? So those 72 hours are intentional to get you to where you want to go, because the goal is to get our time back, right? The goal isn't to be doing whatever we're doing right now for the rest of our life, right? Does that make sense? The goal is to get started and put ourselves in a favorable position where we can retire within 365 days through some sustainable, right? Through some sustainable actions that we're going to be taking along the way, right? Anybody can run fast in the beginning. Anybody can get started and go all in for their first 1 week, their first 30 days, their first 60 days. But what happens? People fall off. People take their time to get started, but they don't, because they don't do it the right way, because they don't listen to what's told to them, right? Because they don't listen to the people that have done this in the past, the people that have gone through the 4 years of failure, right? Shout out to David Imonitie, the people that have gone through all of the things that we don't want to experience in our business, right? We hear them, but we don't listen. We hear the coaches tell us exactly what to say on a call. We hear them say exactly how we should operate inside the business, right? And like I heard so many times, there's not one way to win, but you got to follow one coach, right? So you got to decide who your coach is going to be, and you got to follow that. But you got to make sure, all right, if I'm following this blueprint, this person has already seen success, right? They've already helped other people get that same success and navigated them in such a way that they will be successful. A lot of times we get started and we want to do things our own way. We want to say it our own way. And, parents will tell you, I was guilty of it sometimes too. I would want to throw my own little spin in there and, make it work first and then do it. Because what will happen is you'll make the mistake of doing things your way and then saying it doesn't work. And then quitting on your own dreams, right? So in order to be there long term, in order to have that longevity in anything, you got to be relaxed and under control. You got to have that fast start. But after that fast start, there are some daily activities that you need to do that are going to allow you to be where you want to be long term, right? Again, I always go back to running. If my coach wants me to run fast, what's he going to do? He's going to tell me to run fast. If he wants me to run slow, he's going to tell me to run slow. But if he tells me to run slow, I need to understand that on that day I'm supposed to run slow, I need to run slow. I need to not go all out. Because if I'm going all out on the day I'm supposed to run slow, my next day is not going to be as amazing as it should be. I'm not going to be able to get through the workout the way that I'm supposed to, right? And that's the problem. A lot of us went out there, we did things our own way, right? We did things the way that we wanted to do them. And then because we did them the way that we wanted to do them, we wanted to show out, right? We wanted to show out for the crowd. Everybody was going slow. So we're like, oh, this is my chance to take off. And because you didn't follow the details, tomorrow when it's the real workout, the coach knew what was coming tomorrow. You didn't. The coach knew exactly what the workout was going to be for the next day, but you didn't know. So you went out there and decided to run your own play. So that next day, what happened? Now everybody else is looking good. You out there looking fatigued. You on the floor, right? Again, back to the business. You quit. Your trade account's not looking the way you want it to look, right? I want to leave you guys with this one question, and then I'm gonna pass this thing off, right? Two things. Number one, this is your run. This is your run. This is your run to chairman, right? We call it the run to chairman, right? The road to 7 figures. Just run, right? You have to go home with you, nobody else. When you go home, after you get off this call, after all of the 777s in the comments, after the fire emojis, after the chairman seasons, right? After you get off and go live with the educator, you're the one that has to click that button. You're the one that has to decide what your leverage is going to be. You're the one that has to go home and say, am I going to read whatever book of the month that I'm supposed to read? Am I going to listen to the audio today? You're the one that has to make that decision. The details were already laid out, right? Said this the other day. It's just like class. When you were in school, they gave you a rubric, right? The beginning of the semester, you get a syllabus that tells you everything that you need for the entire semester. All the details. All you have to do is follow it. Keep up. It might not say every specific thing, but on this date, I probably got a test. On this date, this is coming up. So I can prepare based off of what the teacher gave me to be ready for that day, right? So my question that I wanted to ask is, have you been conditioned to accept failure or overcome it? I want y'all to take a second and think about that. Have you been conditioned to accept failure or overcome failure? Because if you've been conditioned to accept failure, you're gonna take off fast, you're gonna run until you can't run anymore, and you're gonna say it didn't work, that thing doesn't work, I'm done. But if you've been conditioned to overcome failure, you're gonna run the plays the way it was designed, right? Even if you did alter here or there, but you're gonna number one, follow the rubric, but number two, when you face adversity, you're gonna keep going. And you're gonna keep going again. And you're gonna keep going again, and you're gonna stay in communication with your coach. You're gonna refer back to the play. You're gonna listen to Conceive, Believe, Achieve, an audio of the year. You're gonna read the books, right? Have you been conditioned to accept failure, or have you been conditioned to overcome it? Because no chairman, even the ones that go chairman in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, shout out to Paris Simmons, right? No matter what that rank was and how fast they did it, there was some prior training before that. Whether or not it was in this industry, there was a mindset shift that they had to experience. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass this thing off. I'm gonna let y'all ponder on that thought. We got Miss Jasmina Hollins, new chairwoman loaded inside of IM Mastery Academy, one of the RetiredIn365 up and coming emerging leaders, right? She's definitely been taking the time to not only invest into herself, but to everybody that she's connected to, right? I'm sure I saw her doing so many Zoom calls and putting herself in position to communicate with people from all across the organization, right? She's definitely been teachable and coachable and really putting herself again in position, right? Putting herself in position to impact the lives of thousands of people all around the world. Definitely somebody that you should be listening to, somebody that you guys should be taking notes from if you haven't already been taking notes, right? This is somebody, one of the up and coming emerging leaders, the next face that you want to be attached to, right? I want to go ahead and bring up Miss Jasmina Hollins. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
There we go. There we go.
Thank you so much, Javon, for that introduction. I love it. I love it. I love it. And let's put some fire emojis in the chat for soon to be chairman, Javon Hutchison. We know the type of fearless leader that he is. We know that he is there for everyone that ever needs him. I even had to call him literally 15 minutes after a presentation started, and he saved the day. So he's definitely somebody that leads by example. And I am privileged to say that's my mentor. Yes, I do claim him. And just thank you for everything that you do for me and everybody else. So I'm not going to take up any more time. So Javon just went over. Let me get my excitement up. Keep the fire emojis coming. Keep the fire emojis coming. So Javon just went over that success is in the details, right? So I definitely want to go over how success is also in the details of the image. So I want you guys to start thinking about what your image of success is like and how detailed is it? Okay. So one of the things that I want to ask you, or that I want you to think about, are you the person that has vision of a tunnel instead of tunnel vision? So I'm going to say that again. Are you somebody that has vision of a tunnel where all you see is darkness? You can't quite really perceive what your purpose, what success is supposed to be. All you're doing is looking at a long road of darkness instead of tunnel vision where it's illuminated and all you see is the prize ahead. So I want you definitely to think about that. And I want to actually talk about, because I always got to bring the spiritual side of it in. I want to talk about one of my favorite stories in the Bible, or events, I should say, in Matthew chapter 9, the women with the issue of blood. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because the determination, the resilience that she had in order to get her deliverance, no matter who was around her, no matter what everybody else said about her, no matter how long she struggled with this illness, no matter how many people could not heal her, could not deliver her, she still kept the faith. Why? Because she knew with that tunnel vision that very person, that very thing that was going to be coming into her vicinity was going to be the one to deliver her. She didn't allow what happened from other people, other doctors who just couldn't heal her. She didn't just lay down and just quit and get depressed, because back in those times, and we're all adults here, back in those times when women went through their little thing, they actually couldn't be touched. And after they were done, they had to dip themselves in what was called, I think it's pronounced McVeigh, in order to be clean. But if somebody else touched them while they were going through that time, they were now considered unclean. But this woman with the issue of blood had this sickness for 12 years. So imagine being in isolation for 12 years where your husband can't even touch you, okay? And let me bring it back to you and your purpose. Imagine being in a situation where you feel like there is no way out for so long, but yet your deliverance is just about to pass you. Are you going to have that tunnel vision like she did to push past the crowd? So what she did, nobody could heal her, right? She went through this time period. But there was a man named Jesus that was coming into town. She knew if she could just touch the hem of his garment, that she will be delivered. She tried everything else. And some people on this call have tried other jobs, have tried other opportunities, have tried taking advice from other people, but yet and still they have yet to be delivered, and they have yet to see the full manifestation of their success. So how many people on this line will actually say, with this last time, if I could only push past the crowd, no matter the success I did not achieve before, no matter what people told me before that it wasn't going to work, if I can just push past the no's, if I can just push past and be determined, because my deliverance is actually in my vicinity right now. All I have to do is reach out and just touch it, and I will be delivered. How many people do I have on that call right now? Put it in the chat. All I need is a touch. All I need is to touch it. Put it in the chat if you are that person. So as she was going and Jesus was walking through, she pushed past the crowd, although she wasn't supposed to touch anybody because of her sickness. She pushed past the crowd because she knew she had the image. She didn't have a vision of a tunnel. She didn't lay in darkness. She actually had tunnel vision where she didn't care who she had to push past in order to get to him. She touched the hem of his garment. Then he says, "Who is it that touched me?" And of course, his disciples are like, "What do you mean? Everybody's pressing on you. Everybody's touching you." He's like, "No." He's like, "No. I felt somebody touch me." That is the beauty in who God is. Because no matter how many people on this earth, he knows that one. He knows that one. Every person that's on this call, he knows that one. I could be praying to him for this. Javon could be praying for him to this. Everybody could be going for his attention. But when you ask for something, he knows that it's you. So she touched the hem of his garment. And when he asked, "Who is it that touched me?" "Everybody's touching me." They said, "Everybody's touching you." He said, "No, I know that one." So then she said, if I could just touch the hem of your garment, I would be healed. And he says, by your faith, you have been healed. So bringing this back to what we're doing right now, again, how many of us have gone through life, and even if you're doing well, but you know you could have more, years and years and years of things not working, things not going as planned, there being setbacks, people not wanting to talk to you anymore, even in this business, people not saying yes to what you're offering them. How many of us have gone on and on and on and on, and all we need to do is just push past the crowd, push past the adversity, push past those people that said that it wasn't going to work, just to touch the success that's right in front of us, to touch the deliverance that's right in front of us. Put some ones in the chat if you are that person that is going to push past all those years of it not working, because your deliverance is in your vicinity and all you have to do is reach out and have the faith. It wasn't just the touch, it was the determination, it was the faith. He said, by your faith, you have been healed. So I'm here to tell you today, by your determination, by you being in position, by you pushing past the crowd, by you not wondering who said it wasn't going to work, by you just getting to that spot where all you have to do is reach out and grasp your deliverance, and by your faith, you will be successful. Keep the ones in the chat going if by your faith, you know that this is gonna work. Keep putting the ones in the chat if you know that by your determination, this is going to work. Keep putting some ones in the chat if you know that this is for you. And when you reach out for that success, just like he knew just her touch, that what is for you is going to be for you, no matter how many people are going after the same thing. Their success is not going to be yours. Their deliverance is not going to be yours. Yours is for you. Keep the ones coming if that is you. It's a beautiful thing in knowing that he knows us all by name. He knows all that we struggle with. He knows everything, but there's a responsibility in it from us as well, that we have to not give up. We have to make sure that we don't only see darkness, that we don't see only vision of the tunnel, but tunnel vision for where we need to go. If you miss the making of what's happening in this moment, there's something that will not be made in you. And what I mean by that is, if you do not accurately assess everything that you're going through and apply it accordingly, there's going to be something in you that is not going to be cultivated and made. You can't wish away the process. You have to embrace the process, because it's the making of what you are going to need to get to that next level. I can only imagine when she had those 12 years of being sick, if she did not keep pushing and keep going, would she have the determination to give it that one last shot and push past everybody else? That's what I mean by embracing what's going on in the moment, because it's definitely making what's inside of you. It's strengthening what's inside of you, because once that time comes when you have to reach out, if you haven't accepted everything that this process has to offer, will you have the mental fortitude and the strength to give it that last push for your breakthrough? Embrace it. Go through it. Because the joy in all of it is that there is a light at the tunnel as long as you continue to have tunnel vision and not vision of just a tunnel. And lastly, I just want to say this. Well, two more things. To know the potential of something, you need to know the purpose. So make sure as you're going throughout this, you know the purpose of what this is going to do for you. Again, success is in the details of the image. Make sure you know the purpose of what this is supposed to do for you. Because then you'll understand the potential. And when you understand the potential, you now have the strength for the pursuit. So, again, keep your eyes on the end game. Embrace everything that is going on now, because when you get to the point where all you have to do is stretch out your hand one last time and it's yours, because by your faith, you're going to have the success that you know that you're supposed to have, because you've gone through it. You didn't give up. Just like the women with the issue of blood, you just kept pushing. Let's, again, put in there just one touch, because I feel that. I know that there is somebody on this call right now where they have just been asking, like, please just show me what it is that I need to do. And I feel that this word is for you, because you're sitting there in darkness, not knowing where you're supposed to go next or what you're supposed to do with this opportunity. So I'm here to let you know, although we all say it, but I'm saying it again, you have to keep going. You have to keep pushing, because there's going to be a moment when literally one last sprint to the finish line and you're there. You're at your breakthrough. But if you do not give it your all, you will miss the move. You will not be in position. You will not be within arm's length to reach out and grab what your success is. Because remember, the pain of anything is only temporary, but quitting is forever. So what you don't want is to make a permanent decision of giving up for a temporary emotion of what you're going through. Because all it could take is one last stretch of your arm and one last push, and you are there. I'm gonna close us with this. Drop some values in the chat if you are hearing what I am speaking. Y'all got me losing my voice. But I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all so much. Come through, God. Okay. So the last thing I want to leave you with is this. In listening to Conceive, Believe, and Achieve, which all you guys should be listening to. And trust me, please do it every day. Don't skip it. I was that one who skipped it. But now that I'm actually listening to it every day, I learn new stuff every time. But I'm going to leave you with this. You have to have that paid off belief, because this has stuck with me. David Immonetier talks about when you believe something, you have to have that paid off belief. What does that mean? You have to be patient. You have to continue the activity. You have to stay inspired, and you have to stay dedicated. That's what having that paid off belief, because it will come to pass at an appointed time. But in the meantime, you have to make sure while you're believing that you remain patient, that you continue to do the activity, you stay inspired, and you remain dedicated. That's paid, P-A-I-D, patient, activity, inspired, dedicated, paid off belief. Why is that important? Because again, it ties back into having tunnel vision. You're focusing on what needs to happen. You're strengthening the muscle of having tunnel vision, because people love to operate when they're under pressure. But once you actually get to that finish line, the job's not over. So how are you going to act when you're no longer under pressure? Are you going to relax? So you might as well get your weight up now in your patience, your activity, your inspiration, and your dedication. Go ahead and strengthen those muscles and get your weight up in those areas, because when the time comes when it looks like you can relax, you already have trained all of those and you're going to keep going. So the motivation isn't only to getting to the finish line. The motivation is also, once you get to that finish line, how are you going to keep going and surpass it? Because it doesn't end there. So get your weight up now. Drop some, get your weight up in the chat. Get your weight up now and make sure that you are practicing your patience. You're continuing in the intensity of your activity. You're staying inspired and you're remaining dedicated, because all of you are leaders in your own right. And this is going to need to spill out into your organization, and they're going to do what you do. So get your weight up now. All right, that's all I got. It is 12:04. As I end every call, I pray abundance, prosperity. I pray that your heart may be open to whatever it is that was spoken by myself and the fearless leader himself, Javon. I pray that you continue to go the distance. I pray that you have that mental fortitude. I pray that you do not stop short of your blessings. I pray that you do not stop short when all you need is one more reach and you're at your breakthrough. And I pray that you continue to stay inspired, remain patient, stay dedicated, and get your weight up now so you can continue this race. Javon, it's yours.